What's up, everybody? Chris over here, founder of pollinatretrading.com. Man, I've been in crypto for what's it been? 11 years. I've been trading for 25 years. I develop software and trade, and yeah, military and government stuff. It's somewhere in there too. Hey, I'm knee deep into this Bitcoin run we got going on right now. We looked at it last week. I believe it was Thursday or Friday. I did a video on market profile of Bitcoin and how I got long, why I got long, what I was looking at. I'm going to come back to that and review it now that we're here, so that we can see what's transpired since then. And so also, if you don't already subscribe to the channel, please subscribe, like this video. If you got any questions, you want me to take a look at some sort of things with this market profile or any of my other analysis, I'll be happy to do so. And with that being said, let me get right into the video here. There we go. Okay, so let's start out with the 24-hour chart from last week, where, since, well, I guess December. So each candle is 1 day. And you can see that this is the Bitcoin futures on the CME, Chicago Mercantile Exchange. This is not Binance. This is not Coinbase. This is not Bybit. This is not any of those other spot Bitcoins. This is the futures contract. So this one expires. The expiration of this contract is every month. So this is the February contract we're looking at, but it's continuous contract. So it brings forward all the data from previous trading sessions. So it just, instead of doing just February, which you would only see a handful of bars, it adds all of them since 2017 all together. And it's pretty nice in the sense that it's about a quarter of the total volume of Bitcoin. And I kind of went over that in the last video. But what I want to point out is the it seemed to have, as I was mentioning, turn the what is that? I don't understand why I have, there we go. Whatever that was, it's gone. Well, it was volume profile, but not all that relevant. What happened was, over basically on the weekend, well, this would have been Fridays, last Friday. So not this. So about a week and a half ago, it got down to that level and never fully cleaned it up. Last week, at the time of this reporting, it bottomed out. We got long over in here, and we caught this big move. We got long on I think it was Thursday. We caught the big move, and we're still in it. So what I'm going to do is I actually, using market profile, we break down each candle, each bar, and we can see it on the this is one of the benefits of doing intraday charting. You can actually go back and look at how a day traded using market profile and see where there are gaps, where are there areas of interest, where things are likely going to go back or head to, all sorts of stuff. So what we're going to do is, now we're going to pull up that same chart using market profile. And what I did on that chart, going back to the Bitcoin ETF, I got some targets in here on these levels where we should trade up to. And there's actually some new target levels down below where we are leaving prices behind. So what I mean by that is, we're looking at these things called single prints. right? We're seeing these levels where prices didn't fully trade for more than a two time period. So each time, so what we're looking at here is basically a letter represents the time every 30-minute time period from the opening of trade that day till the closing of trade on the open session, not the overnight session. So yes, this does trade 22 hours, 5 days a week, but we're only tracking about 6.5 hours of that. So the letter A is the first half hour, B is the second half hour, C is the third half hour, D, E, F, G, all the way to M. M is the last half hour period of the trading day. Where we've taken out some of these levels that we needed to get rid of, and they are gone. In other words, we've traded past them, so they are no longer relevant levels. And since we have left some, so we traded up to this single print here, and you can see we built volume around that area where it says single prints. That means 1 30-minute period was traded is all it left. And so what we did is we traded up to there yesterday, and we traded around that for a little bit, and then it took off again. Okay. Now, by taking off it, so this single print is now cleared up. You can see that it was filled in this, where this is empty here, this is now full. Okay. But what did that do? Well, that break, once this area was like recovered, then it just took off. There was nothing else for it to do. All the sellers that wanted to sell at this level or do business at this levels, they were done, and it just took off. And then it came back up to this next single print area and based there again yesterday. And then so that took out that single print. But what it also did, again, is it created another level of single prints. So today, Monday, we had a number of areas that were just wiped out. And again, we didn't get overlapping volume on or overlapping time on any of those areas. Okay. So you can see that we have single print overwhelming. It basically yesterday, it just opened and then ripped. And actually that would have been Sunday and Monday combined, but it basically just took off. And then that leads us to today. And today we spend all of our time in this nice, tight little range. I'm going to drag this one over too, because that's still an area for us to look at. So what we have to watch for now is backfill into these single print areas. Okay. Another trick or another thing we can do is we can go ahead and add our volume profile on this. And okay, let's go like 30, a little bit bigger. And what we can see is the volume additionally never really traded, even though we did get time didn't trade there. We did get a little bit of volume, a little bit, and especially here. So when I'm looking at my single prints on this one, I'm actually going to raise it up because it overlapped on that. So the previous day overlapped. So even though, yes, that is still a single print officially, there was volume there. So it's not going to be, I'm not going to aim for, if we do get a pullback, I'm not going to like just say, oh, it has to go down to 42,410 or whatever. I'm going to start seeing how it trades if we get down into this 42.6 area. Now, remember, I'm talking about CME futures. So the price is going to be different on this Bitcoin CME future. If you're looking at Bitcoin right now, not on the futures contract, but on the, let's call it on Binance or something, where we're trading currently at 43,890, the futures contract. And then on the spot contract on, like, say, Binance or on Coinbase, it's trading at 43,483. So like $400 difference. There's a $400 premium currently on the Bitcoin futures price to the spot price. Okay. Now, one other thing I did is we have this VWAP. It's called VWAP, volume weighted average price, and that's tacked up to the Bitcoin high. Okay, so we're kind of sitting there. Let me make sure it is actually. That's just sometimes it's just a pain in the butt to do it correctly. And yes, we did. Okay. And now I'm also going to do the same. You just go to here. Yeah. Anchored VWAP and just find the absolute low price right here. And so that's also going to be a price that's I'm going to be tracking. So we're above the spike high, the 49,000 high that we got from the ETF launch. And we're also above the low we got over last week at around 39,000 or so. Okay, turn the charts back off so it's easier to see. Okay. So we still have a couple of levels that I'm interested in see that I think we could trade up to before too long. I think if we're going to continue this bull run, these are going to be levels that are going to be important to me. You can see that this level that held for half a day on Friday, I guess, maybe it was Sunday. That was at areas where there was low volume over here. Okay. Currently, we're trading high volume at an area overlapping very high volume. So we're finding value, a whole lot of value here at this 43.7, 43.8 level. Okay. When I say value, I mean we're spending a lot of time at this price. Okay. You can see it also was a very big price level before the big breakdown 2 weeks ago. So it's back up to it. This was support. And once support broke, it fell. It's now resistance here. We're at that level. And I have actual verifiable data telling me that this is a support. It's not just a magic line I draw on a chart. Price was traded at this level. All buyers and sellers got all that they needed here, or it was a massive stop loss. That wasn't the case because we did it for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 4 hours or so. Right? That would have been a 4-hour thing. So a lot of volume went through over here. Again, so I would say one thing that could have happened is we had a lot of buyers here who just decided to sell when they got back to break even. This is a horrible habit. This is what, this is really the idea here is like, oh, I didn't lose any money, right? Even though you just went from 44,000 down to 38,000, you definitely lost money. You are where you are now. So, because if this didn't go there, yeah, you definitely would have lost that money. So a lot of people actually get out at this level. And that might be why we're getting these levels building back up, or it's people are taking profits. Who knows what type of volume? Obviously, if somebody's buying, somebody's selling. And if price isn't moving, that means both buyers and sellers are very good at this price. That means all of the business is happening here, right? All the business overlapped here at 43.7, 43.8 or so would have been the most important price for the last 2 weeks. That's where the most volume and time has actually traded. And then we actually came and closed the day, went up to the high of 44,000 or so and came back down and closed at 43.8. So like 100 points off the week high and, for maybe 2 weeks. So this is a great spot of value is what this is called. So everybody agrees that this is the right price. Now, somebody would have to really, really disagree with price for it to move from here. And this is typically what happens when after a big move. Big moves happen, boom, 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 and then they consolidate. Sometimes what they do is they go back and say, and then this is like an auction. This is called auction market theory, by the way. It's like an auction. You say, okay, I have this painting for $1 million. Let's go $100. $100. Do I have 100? I'll bet 100. Okay, here's 100. Do I have 105? Yeah, here's 105. Do I have 110? Yeah, I have 110. What about 120? What about 130? What about 150? You like raise it faster and price goes up. Eventually, it hits a level where, let's say it hits $200 for that painting, and you're like, I bought 200. And the guy's like, okay, do I hear 210? And, they jump from 100 to 200 in like 5 jumps. So he's like, do I have 220? No, 210, 205, 204, 203, 202, 201. I'll bid 201. All right, I got 201. Who wants 202? Seeing if I want to come back in and buy it for 202 and then try to keep it going, right? So that's basically where we are. But we start a new auction fresh tomorrow. Well, here in a half hour or so. But the live market, the non-overnight market, will begin tomorrow, and they will set the price where they set the price, and buyers will come in and buy, and sellers will come in and sell. If the sellers say not interested, price will start, or buyers say not interested at 43,895 or whatever, and it goes down to 43,765.4. If it starts going down until buyers can find it, one of the first levels that I'm going to look at is this volume weighted average price. So this is the average price traded on volume. So it's not a moving average of price. It's an average of volume and price. Okay, so we're looking at the market here in a completely different dimension, if that makes sense. So we're looking at volume and time and price in more of a horizontal level than just like price went up at 9 a.m. And if that's the case, most likely we're going to get down to this overlapping. So these these bright color here, green or yellow, whatever they are, these are called points of control. And that's where the most amount of time or volume was likely traded on that symbol. And you can see that last week's level was here, 43,795. Let's call it 43.8. Also today, 43.8 was that same level. So these key levels here are the targets that we move to, but we also go and clean up zero prints and areas where there's no volume. So usually we go to no volume and we keep moving to high volume. So we had these no volume areas we had to clean up here. So we went through them, boom, boom, boom. But where did we eventually resolve to? Yesterday, we resolved to the same area as last week's, 43.4. And then today we did 43.8. So another like 1% move today. If we're looking at the next most likely level, we're likely going to see that would be 46,485. Okay, I'm looking at this here, the volume profile. You can see where it's the biggest. 43,640, 46.4, let's just call it 46,400 or so, is the next big level of volume. If we're going to keep going, then that's my next big target, 46.4. So that's a 2,000 point move, 2,500 point move from here on Bitcoin. That would be my next target. And again, remember, we still have single prints for it to go and visit. Now, the other thing I'm going to throw on here is our trusty Fibonacci lines, because everybody loves Fibonacci's in crypto. They are, whether you believe them or not, they are self-fulfilling. And so a lot of stuff happens on these Fibonacci levels, and a lot of profits taken there. A lot of shorts would be initiated at these levels if people are speculating for the downside. And you can see that, that it is right at this single print level, and we're at about 50% fib on Bitcoin right now. So that's why volume, another reason why volume is starting to build out sideways, because we're at halfway back from the low to the high. Okay. So this is a big spot. What would be interesting to see is how many shorts come into this market here. And if we start getting these single prints filled to the downside, remember our first level is going to be this VWAP, and it's going to be these price levels. We have a naked point of control all the way down at 40,000. We have like little things all the way down here to go and test, believe it or not. So we are not out of the woods yet in this Bitcoin bounce. It doesn't mean that we are, just because we've been tactically right trading this to the upside doesn't mean that means it's Bitcoin's going straight to, 100,000 or whatever from here. All it means to me is that this is just a trade. It's a tactical trade. We took it. I don't short during the bull regime myself. So if it does go down in this area, all I would be looking to do is find places to look to get long and not really be spending, trying to get short. Now, if people are short, they're going to put stops above this area right in here. So probably this 4,000 or even 44,000 is where they will have their short stop losses and or liquidation. And if it starts moving, this is where, they're going to get excited because it's going to go, if it starts getting below 43.3, then you're going to clear up this single print, this single print, this single print. And we start seeing the opportunity of getting down to 40,700, 40,100, 39,400 as a place for these shorts to target. No opinion personally if that happens or not. I just know that right now, when I bought down in here, it was very clear that the nature of this trade had changed and that it was going to start going up. To me right now, it's very clear that the nature of this trade has cleared up, has changed from the rally mode, boom, 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 right? Rally mode from down in here where we got long to, where we currently, we get long, what, 40,000 or so, 40,400 or something like that, 2,000. So we're up $4,000, up 10% on this trade already in 3 trading days or so, 3 or 4 trading days. That's a really good move. That's a good size move, even for Bitcoin. And so what I'm looking for here is a change in nature to let me know something has changed, and we might have something, a different reaction to what we had in this 1, 2, 3, 4. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 time framing higher for 4 days. And we got a sideways it's not an inside day, but it's a very sideways day. The shape of these, it tells you a story. This is a short squeeze when you have long tail at the bottom and a big base up top. That's a short squeeze. Same thing up here. You can see when it broke, we had long, 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 and build at the bottom. So that means stops were that's a long squeeze. So longs were getting squeezed out of their trades there. And then this is the opposite. And then we went above it and just consolidated. You can see, unlike this one, we went down, held, and then consolidated here before another leg down. That doesn't mean we're going to do the exact opposite of this. What it means to me is that we're now at 50% fib. We've cleared up all the zero prints we wanted. We went to the points of control, and now we are in a position of, okay, the possibility of going lower is much better. At the same time, the possibility of squeezing higher, because now we're going to be building up shorts in here. If shorts get stopped, that creates buying. That creates buying pressure. And let me just pull up where stops are going to be sitting on Bitcoin. let's do, let's do the symbol. Okay, so you can, what we're seeing here, what this is showing is a heat map of where all the orders are sitting. The brighter the color means that there's a large number there. We have $234 million of stops, longs, most likely, right here at 43,000. We have a little bit building here. Let's call it 100,000 above it. Could be enough to continue to rush it. Because if these stops get taken out, then we just blast through and we keep blasting through. This is a big level here. So a lot of, $200 million is just sitting there waiting to get stopped. And that'll cause some chaos. But you can see we're in a nice tight range. And a lot of shorts have their stop right up in here. 150 million of them at least at 43.844. Who knows what level that is on the futures. See if I can get the CME one, because that's the one we're actually looking at. Doesn't actually, Coinbase doesn't look like it has the futures on here. Anyway, that's a cool tool to take a look at. So that would be probably, if that's 43, that's 400 above where it currently is for spot. So 400, 44, so 44. So this is where this would be a liquidation level right now here too. Like 100 million, $100 million of stops to be ran up at this 43.4 area where we currently have single prints holding. So most likely that's going to go, because that's going to be calling. And then we had back in here, we had it was 100 and try to see 41, 100, 100. Okay, so it's even. What did I say that was? That's 43. We'll call it 43,000 or so. So again, it's single prints. This is going to be a 110 million. So that's that one we need to pay attention to. And then this one's going to be right over there. So we're kind of, if whichever way breaks is probably going to send us lower. If it takes this one out, it's probably going to send Bitcoin lower, harder, down to other levels to take it out, which totally expected. Boom, boom, boom. If this one goes, then we're looking, we're looking to continue the move up to levels way up in here, 47, maybe even up into all-time highs. I don't know. Tactically, the way I'm watching it is I want to see the reaction over here and how it comes down into here. So for me, I would probably want to see the move to start heading down. And I'll probably be watching the VWAP. I'm just gonna be watching the open, and I'll start making decisions on tomorrow's live trading as it starts to play out. At the moment, I don't have any opinion on which way it's going to go from here. But again, I will say that we have liquidation levels up here on 100 million on either side, and we're building right in the middle. Honestly, what would be the least fun for everybody is to just continue to build out the middle at 44,000, 43.8 or whatever, just to build it out here, bleed everybody out. And when Bitcoin gets tired and just does things like sit around at a level after a big rally, what happens to alts? What happened? What Solana's going to be doing? What happens? What's going to be happening to the big ones. And today, I will love to bring it up. We had some positive news on Ethereum. They say there will be an Ethereum ETF, and it would get approved sometime potentially in May. So they're getting, nothing kicks off a big rally like in alts, like Ethereum getting moving. So anyway, that's what we got for today, guys. I'll take a look at regular markets probably tomorrow. If you got any questions, please put them down in the chat or in the comment section, and I will get to them. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Bye.